All right, I'm live. It says, okay, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's get that hand clap going. All right. Class, take your seats. Take your seats, everybody. Take your seats. Good morning. It is 9:19. I just got done with my VA appointment. You guys got my Desert Storm veteran hat on. It's kind of cold here. Good to see you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Donovan Saadiq, also known as the Recovering Democrat. Wanted to stop here. I got to work on this live a lot more because I kind of like it. I wish I could use the green screen in a better format. But I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. Thanks for those guys that have been calling and emailing and asking me, am I okay? Whatever the deal is. I live 60 miles east of Los Angeles, so I live out in the desert, basically. How many of you guys have heard of the town Riverside in Southern California? It's Riverside County, which is a fairly decent county. We're right next to Los Angeles. We're right next to Orange County. We're right next to San Diego County. We're right next to San Bernardino County. We're 3 hours away from Las Vegas. So I'm near Riverside. The city I live in is Moreno Valley. Um, but here's what I want to tell you guys basically. Um, you guys know, since Demetri and I've been doing the show, every year we have a thing in California called fire season. We're probably one of the only states that has a fire season. I think Arizona has a little bit of it. Las Vegas has because we kind of border each other. Um, we have a fire season, and the reason why we have the fire season is because in most cases it's due to human error. So that means if you're sitting in traffic, the muffler sparks something on the side of the road, and the fire starts, whatever. And got a lot of homelessness out here. People have encampments. The encampments go out of control. Mike Nice, good morning, my brother. How you doing? Uh, the fires go out of control due to the homelessness and things. And so we have a fire season every year. And out in the desert, because like I said, we're not near the city. We're 60 miles east, so it's not as congested. You don't have a lot of homes out here. Where you do now, but we have more space. Basically, we don't live in a concrete jungle. There's more space here, and so when you have fire season, there's not really much to burn out here because every year everything is burning, right? And so now you got a lot of new growth and stuff, which is how you're supposed to mitigate uh, burn land, and things jungles and not jungles, but forests and stuff. You're supposed to mitigate the underbrush so that it doesn't catch fire and become a big problem later on. So so when you have fires every year, there's not much that the fire can really burn because there's nothing dry as much as dry. We do still have fires, but in the areas that would likely catch on fire don't because there's too much new growth, right? So in LA, where all the rich people, have you noticed like all the people on TV that are rich talk about, well, my friends lost homes and stuff like that? How many of you guys have seen the stupidity of California legislation and laws that let these people build homes on the side of the hill where the stilt is like holding the house up? Then the mudslides come and the house falls down, and whatever their insurance will cover it, and they rebuild. But it's kind of like living in Tornado Alley, right? And so these rich people, like in Malibu and Pacific Palisades, they have this like natural brush that they like, right? That's how crazy some of these people are, or they're different thinking. Oh, let it grow up and be natural and all this other stuff, right? Because they want to be in these secluded areas. Um, that are out there. Like we have this hiking trail in Malibu area where people go missing all the time. People just disappear, because it's so natural. There's no mitigation of the landscaping because the rich people don't want it, right? But the minute there's a fire and it takes out their stuff, oh my God! And you guys saw the pictures of the infernos. That's what happens when when you don't mitigate this area and you let people build in those areas. Um, on the show, I've been talking about uh, liberalism and democratic incompetency, and basically the gentrification in California that is the blueprint of what they're doing to Black people, number one, but what democratic policy does. Democratic policy and rule destroys communities and states. You can't tell me it doesn't. Look what even the rich people are now affected. Just think a $6 billion football stadium, if that stadium went up, that's tax dollars gone. Now, ultimately, who's going to pay for all of this stuff? It's going to be the taxpayer. California taxpayer is going to pay for all of this stuff. And it's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is in California. But again, I have been on Demetria's show, on my show, I've been warning you guys, ringing the alarm of what democratic policy and gentrification does, especially to Black people. This is what democratic policy does to communities. This is exactly what it does. Do I feel sorry for the people that have lost their lives, the animals that unnecessarily died, be it rich or poor? Well, if you got a house in California, you're damn near a millionaire. Um, but people don't deserve to lose their homes and their life possessions and stuff like that. But this is what happens when you don't have common sense. You've got to mitigate your area. Oh, we want it to be natural and we want to go back to a time of whatever. Total incompetence. Karen Bass, total incompetence. Come on, you guys. You will agree. Why have fire hydrants if there's no water pressure to them? Why would any Democrat or Republican leadership cut $17 million out of the firefighting budget? Who would do that to start a DEI program? That's what the Democrats did. You cut $17 million from the firefighters, the first responders. Then a catastrophe happens. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Maybe Demetria and I will talk about it on Friday. Did you see when she was coming off the plane from Ghana? And it was pre-planned, whatever. The reporter was asking her questions and she was just sitting there like, did you guys see that? That's the Democratic look when it comes to accountability. She didn't want to answer the man's questions. These servants think they have no responsibility to answer our questions at all. Hey, Thunder, good morning, my man. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Thunder says, Don, I was just thinking about you. Are you doing okay? Yeah, I'm 60 miles. I'm 60 miles east. I'm fine. I'm in the desert. We have fires every year. Every year we have fires. So, but I want you guys to think about that. Common sense. Let's take our personal feelings out of it. Let's take our political feelings out of it. Who would take $17 million from the firefighters? Who the hell would build and buy fire hydrants that have no pressure to them? This is Democratic policy. This is Democratic leadership. Lord Flawless, good morning, good morning. And it's sad. And I've been telling you guys and ringing the alarm and telling you guys, gentrification takes about 30 years because what they do is they sneaky leak it in. They go very, very slowly. So all of these migrants that have come into your communities, right? They come in, whatever. Here in California, Black people have been gentrified out of their communities and out of their areas. Gentrification, they move these people in. I mean, damn, the Asians came in and they build their own cities. They start in our city, but then they say, I want to get away from these Negroes, and they build their own cities. Have you guys heard of Little Saigon? That is the second biggest community of Vietnamese in the world. And it's right there in Orange County, California. They built that. Yeah, everybody has a Koreatown and a Chinatown and all that other stuff, but these people literally built. We have an area called Chino Hills. How many of you guys have heard of Chino Hills? That's where the Ball brothers came from, the basketball playing guys. That's an Asian city that was built by the Asians. It is what it is. So when these people come into the communities, we need to delineate. We let them come into our communities. They make a bag of money off of us. Then they move out of the community, but they keep their business in the community and they start buying the houses in the because Big Mama died, and even though you were raised there, and even as a kid, maybe you went there as a kid and you grew up there, they buy the houses because we don't know anything about financial literacy, so we sell the house on pennies on the dollar because if they don't buy the houses, we don't pay the tax on it because nobody's taught us how to do these things. Then we lose the house. Then the Hispanics buy the house, and little by little, they start buying up the neighborhood and the block. Next thing you know, there's no black people. I am one of only two black people left in my area, in my community. And the other one, she's holding on by a thread because she's like 80 something years old. Okay. She's holding on by a thread. Uh, in hospice care, she's up, she's getting ready to kick it out. And gentrification takes a long time, right? And they creep it in. But the biggest thing you guys have to watch out, and I've been ringing the alarm and trying to tell you guys, is the political gentrification of black people. Do not let these people get on city council. Do not elect them to the planning commission or anything like that. My friend Daryl Terrell, there's a black girl that was on the, she's an alternate on the planning commission. She's alternate. That means she goes to the meetings and she's there if they need a quorum. And she's there, she's up, right? The mayor in my city, who's Hispanic, has the right to appoint to the commission who he wants to appoint, right? So Daryl comes to me and he says, "Oh my gosh, the mayor doesn't want to appoint, so and so to the commission. She's a black female and whatever, whatever." And I was like this, "Oh my God, right? Just because she's black, we need to put her on the commission? That doesn't make sense because she could be a, a a Bass, Karen Bass, a Hispanic loving whatever, don't do nothing for black people. She could be a Kamala Harris. I'm not doing nothing for black people. No, right? So I'm asking my friend Daryl, and I said, okay, well, what's the problem here? I mean, he's upset. He's like, well, she's qualified, whatever. I said, yeah, she's qualified. She's been on the planning commission for 3, 4 years now. So she knows what she's doing. She knows how it works, how it operates, whatever. You would think it makes sense to put this woman, because there's a position open now, because the guy that was the planning commissioner, Hispanic, he got on the city council. 4 Hispanics. We have 5 council members. 4 of them are Hispanic. 4 of them. 4 of them. We got a 1 black female who's ineffective. She's a kumbaya female. Oh, we all got to get along. We got to move forward. Fuck that. Fuck that. You need to start saying this doesn't make sense. If black people are a third of the city, we need to be a third of representation up on that dais. Right? I'm gonna get to you guys comments in a sec. In a second, I want to kind of give you guys this background of political gentrification. So Daryl's telling me all of this stuff, and I was like, yeah, she's qualified, whatever, whatever. But I'm not going to get emotional. See, I'm trying to stay logical. Well, okay, yeah, she's qualified. But see, it ain't right if he appoints somebody that doesn't have her qualifications. I looked at my friend Daryl and I said, Daryl, what do you think Hispanics do? What do you think they do? Do you think the mayor cares if the Hispanic woman, because he's going to put a Hispanic woman on there, that he wants to appoint has any background whatsoever in that position? No, he's going to put her in that position. Then she's going to get experience, learn as she goes. Then later on, she'll probably run for city council and move her way up, way up, way up, and however, right? Remember, there's 4 Hispanics. So what are the chances? Well, let's just say 5, because the black chick on the council, she wants to get along with everybody. So the chances of him appointing who he wants is very great. So why are we getting upset here? Have I not been ringing the alarm to black people in my community about staying engaged and seeing what is going on? Now you want to get upset? Yes, The black girl is qualified to be on the commission, but do you think Hispanics care about that? They're going to put their positions in places so that they could move and shake. So what's the point? What's the point? This is what I've been talking about. But oh, Donovan, he's racist. But Donovan, he's this. But Donovan, oh, he wants to divide. No, I'm trying to delineate. This is what happens. We have no voice on the council. We have no power to stop what is actually going to happen. And it happened. But now we're supposed to get upset. Do you see when Demetra and I say that black people are reactive versus proactive? It's all but done. Now you want to get upset because we sit on our laurels. Oh, we got people in there. I'm gonna relax and be cool. While we're sitting and being cool, going to church and going to the parties and going on the cruises and going to the restaurants, Hispanic and white supremacy, they're regrouping and they're figuring it out. How many times have I told you guys, I go to city council, there's only 4 black people in there, and I'm one of the 4. Remember the black female chick. So who are the other 2? You don't see any black people uh, in the city chambers. And then when I do see people in there, I see the Hispanics bringing their children, and they're showing their children what they need to do and being politically engaged. That's what the Hispanics are doing. But let me get to you guys' comments real quick, 'cause I don't want to be too long on this. So Mike, nice. Ashanine, how you doing? Glad you and yours are okay. Mike, nice. That's ridiculous. Thursday, Thunder says this is ridiculous. How does the city run out of hydrant water? Exactly. But again, Thunder, the reason why California runs out of water, we have rainwater from the north. And there is a policy, a democratic policy, that rainwater, 90% of it is washed back into the Pacific Ocean. 90% of it. And we have aqueducts that runs water all the way down. But I don't know if you heard Trump talk about this. The environmentalists, the smelt fish, something with the smelt fish, they don't want to put that water in there because it would unbalance the environment, when you overbrush the water. It's just totally ridiculous. So because of this little smelt fish, you have that big desert area in California. When you look at it on a map, like in Bakersfield and places like there's this big area. It's just desert, desert. But if we let the water flow down and in those areas, California would be like green in the middle and stuff like that. But this is democratic policy. This is how they do it. Mike Nye says America's for sale. America is for sale. Thunder says, why don't they ask Nestle for some water since they own the aquifers over there? Yeah, exactly. Everything's for sale here. Daryl Jinks says, have you noticed the large amounts of Canadian Jewish people moving to Compton? Man, that's been going on for the last 6, 7 years. It was funny. I was going through Compton visiting a relative who was moving, and I saw like 3 or 4 white chicks with their Starbucks coffee walking in Compton. I had never seen that in the 80s and the 90s. I had never seen that before. It was all black, So Eunice Williams says, wow, hey, Miss Eunice. Herman Wingfield, what's up? Sherry Rice, Thunder. Gentrification has jumped up there. Certain symptoms to watch out for. For example, if you see a skinny blonde jogging in broad daylight with a Pomeranian by the Whole Foods and the spa that used to be a liquor store. See, we all can identify gentrification when it's starting to happen. Exactly. Rain Love. Hey, Rain Love. Hi, Donovan in chat. Kerman Wingfield says, Thunder, when they walk in the dog really in the morning and the first Starbucks goes up, it's over for the neighborhood. It is. Exactly. Don, there's still cheap land down south. Yeah, but I can't do this. Put it like this, Thunder. If I move from California, I'm not moving to the south. I'll move to the Dominican Republic or the Philippines before I do that. I would rather go overseas and be it because at least overseas they hate you as an American. They don't really care about your color because you get treated better because they know you're an American, even though you're a Black American, and there's probably negative connotations to being a Black person, but they want your money. See, they're about the money. Only when they get here do they get racist. Do these other groups get racist? But when you're in their country, they know you're an American and they know you got the dinero. So Arna Bavant says, greetings, Donovan. Hey, how you doing? Rain love. Everybody saying hi to each other. Mike Nice. And Eunice says, hi, Donovan. I hope all is well. I'm glad you and your family are safe. Yes, Benny's right here. He's safe. Like I said, everything is burned in my area. There's really nothing to burn because we have fires every year. So there's nothing to burn. Herman says that Donovan saw a short video on a couple that owns the water in California. The Resonix, I believe, pistachio owners. Yeah. Diane Feinstein is in their pocket. Yeah, exactly. And where those people are is in that central area of California. Matter of fact, they moved a lot of the dairies from Southern California into the Central Valleys. And the funny thing is, where I live here, there's a place called Eastvale. It's a brand new city. There had been a dairy in that Eastvale area for almost 100 years, a dairy farm. Developer got that land and built $700,000 homes, nice homes on that land. Whenever it rains, the smell that's in the soil comes up. I have a cousin that bought a house in that area, and I was like, "This is what do you don't want to buy this house? Can't tell a black woman nothing. Can't tell them nothing. You know, these are my cousins. Can't tell a black woman nothing." I said, "No, don't." I said, "This is Dairyland. You don't want to buy over there." They bought the house, right? Now remember, they're my cousins, but they're, Caribbeans and stuff. So, their mom and stuff, they're trying to take care of their mom and stuff. And these girls were we were doing really well for themselves. Sisters. And they bought this house, a very nice house. I mean, huge, huge house, $700,000. They spent their first rain there. The smell that comes up through that soil into the homes is horrendous. It's horrendous. This is what I talk about when I say that we don't teach our children financial literacy and just damn common sense. Demetra and I have our issues and stuff because I'm a man, she's a woman, whatever, whatever. I'm going to stand on my square. She can stand on her square. But you can't. We are so negligent in teaching our kids financial literacy and just damn common sense. You do not buy a house on top of dairy land. Do you know how much manure and feces and stuff and urine is in that soil for over 100 years? That ain't going away. It's not going away. And then what planning commission authorized a developer to build homes on soil that is tainted? It's just like that guy in Houston. I remember Jerry Monroe was working with them. And in Houston, I believe, don't quote me, they have built homes on a landfill or something like that. Because we had a guy that was on the show and he was showing all the medical issues him and his family are going through because they did not know that the house was built on top of this landfill. We got to do our homework when we're looking at stuff. I mean, we are so lazy. Academically, we are lazy. If I'm buying a home, I want to look at the history of the home. I want to go to the county. I want to pull the papers on that home. I want to see, was there a murder in the home? Has there been, you know what I mean? Ghosts, poltergeist, whatever. But no, it's a home. We got to get it. Oh, I've lived in an apartment all my life. Oh, look, this is my dream home. Great. Do your research. Do your research because once you've signed your name to that, who's going to buy that home? The only other person I would know that would buy the home and they've been trying to sell it for years and get out of there. The only person that I would think that would buy that home would be another ignorant black person or an immigrant. It's just sad. Kermit coming. Yeah, the pistachio farm. Let's see. Eunice says, yeah. Kermit Wingfield says, saturated for centuries with waste. They built a nice neighborhood over an old chrysoprop plant in my city that caused a lot of sickness. EPA site now. Yeah. But see, that's what I'm saying. Because we're not paying attention and we're not going to the planning commission. And I'm not saying you got to go, but you got a smartphone. You can watch it and see what they're trying to bring into the community. They allowed this. And look at the people that are killed and affected medically by these decisions. So I want you guys to think about this. If Hispanics control the planning commission and if they control the city council, just like you saw last year, or the year before last, where those LA city council members were caught on hot mic talking about how they want to like gentrify the black neighborhood. Remember that? Do you guys remember that? That's what happens when you let these people and you let them get elected to the board and they diabolically plan our demise. That's a fact. Do me a favor, you guys. Hit the like button, share on your platforms, and do all that. But this is what's happening. But I'm the bad guy because I'm trying to warn everybody. My girl Sunlight, oh my gosh, where have you been? How is everything going? Sunlight, sometimes I think, I know you got a lot of stuff going on, well, not like bad stuff, but I know you're doing the grandma thing and, dealing with your family, dealing with your business and stuff. I hope everything is going great because sometimes I really do pray and cheer for you a lot. Have you noticed I've been good on the show? I've been toning it down because I didn't want your wrath to come down on me. So, like I said, when you were away, I was like, okay, good, she's gone. So I know you come back and check on her, but it's good to see you. I'm glad to see you still hanging around. Uh, uh, how do you say? No, my tongue gets tied. Vance says the commission must have been bribed. Yeah, corruption is normal. I want you guys to think about this. If you have Hispanic people getting on your city council, and they come from these banana republics, as we call them, these third world countries where corruption is normalized, to them, that's normal. Getting a white envelope, here you go. That's normal to them. That's doing business. That's normal. That's what they're bringing here. They have no problem with their politicians getting their beaks wet because that's to them, that's what they know. That's how you do business. That's politics to them. Sunlight says, you're right. Most black neighborhoods are built on bad land, whether it be a graveyard or toxic soil. Yeah. And these groups, when they get political gentrification in their favor, they plan our demise. You can't tell me I'm wrong. I'm seeing it in real time. The LA Council, what they did. I mean, look at what's going on. Fire hydrants that have no water pressure. No water pressure. You guys want to know why they're not talking about the black neighborhoods? Because there are no black neighborhoods in California anymore. If there was a fire going on in Inglewood, what did they prioritize? That $6 billion stadium. They're not going to let anything happen to that stadium. But if that was the old black neighborhood that went up in flames, you would have heard about it. Like the Rodney King incident. When all that stuff was going on, all the networks were down in South Central. Look, the blacks are looting. The blacks are doing this. The blacks are doing that. They can't do that anymore because there are no more black neighborhoods. Just the way it is. Sad. It is sad. Kermit Wingfield says that Sunlight. Well, to do neighborhoods, also people thought they were moving up only to buy houses in those neighborhoods. Yeah, and it's sad. And once we're in that contract or we're in that thing, we're stuck. We're stuck. Either you're going to take a loss on that house or you're going to have to walk away or something because nobody in their right mind is going to pay you $750,000 for a house that is built on a dairy farm or a toxic dump site or a landfill. Nobody's going to pay you that because I did my homework. What I am going to do is, I'll give you $500,000 for it. You've taken a loss, and I've taken a win. And guess who I'm going to rent that house out to? An immigrant, because they're desperate. They'll take it. And then black people, we go into the homeless category. Because if you're down in Houston or wherever, and again, a lot of these California people that have left California has affected your neighborhood because $250,000 for a home down there, you can get a nice little spot for $250,000, at least you used to. But because all these California blacks have been gentrified and moved back down to the South, the prices of the homes went up because when we see a house that's $300,000, whoa, what a steal. And we get all this land. What a steal. This is what we've been raising the alarm about, you guys. Sunlight says facts. I'm third generation in my childhood home, and it's built on a sewage uh, lift station. We breathe polluted air often. Damn, that is fucked up. And and the funny thing is, Sunlight, these devils have no problem with it. These are the same devils that will sit in church with you talking about these are the same liberals that will sit there and smile in your face, talk about, oh yeah, girl, we sisters and all this other stuff while they're living, out there in a nice, area that, just don't get me started. Just don't get me started. But I just want to warn you guys. This is what Democratic policy does. Look at the state of California. Look at what Democratic policy does to Black people in the state of California. Look what it's done. And if they can't get us out fast enough, what is their backup? They turn the area into damn Beirut. Look at Oakland. Destroyed. If you guys have ever been to Oakland recently, Oakland looks like a war zone. It's terrible. The businesses that have left there and all this other stuff, and I'm not saying there's not good female leadership, but a lot of the female leadership that has been highlighted on social media and in the news has been damn piss poor. And why is that? Because the good female leaders, they're raising their families like Sunlight, they're opening their own businesses, and they're staying out of the fray. I don't mind you guys doing that, but I want you guys to at least be knowledgeable about what is going on in your communities. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. California has shown you what the policy is toward Black people. Give them nothing. Gentrify them out of their communities. Gentrify them out of politics so they have no voice to defend themselves. And get those Negroes to think the police department is not a place for a Black person. And they're partly right. The police ain't shit because in a lot of your major cities, the chief of police is Black. And yet the culture doesn't change. Yeah, Sunlight, I'm still on Twitter. Yeah, I still see you. I still see some of your stuff when you post on Twitter. Thunder says in Texas, a $350,000 home, you would need a golf cart to go to the bathroom before the influx. Yeah, you get all this land. See, and where I'm at in California, I live at the bottom of the cul-de-sac, so I have this, my backyard goes like this. So I have a lot of land in my backyard. It's really huge. It's so much that Benny could run in a full sprint in the yard. Usually in California, when you buy these $750,000 homes with your neighbor right on you, you get this. Here's your front yard. Literally, this is your front yard. You want to see your backyard? This is your backyard. Literally. They put you in this box of a home, 2-story, then your neighbor is right there. And that's what you're paying $750,000 for. Kerman Wingfield says, when I was at FedEx, they always told us everything policy change starts in California. Yeah, policy change starts in California. Yeah, it's just one of those things. So I just wanted to get on here and tell you guys I'm fine. I live in the desert. I deal with fire season every year. Every year we have fires out here. So there's nothing for the fires to really burn. We do have fires going on. Don't get me wrong, but it's no problem. But in Los Angeles, where everybody knows your name, houses everywhere and everything like that, and the rich people in their little areas. You guys notice they're not talking about the South Central areas and stuff. This is the rich areas. Oh, well, my friend, the $16 million mansion just went up, in Karen Bass, and there's no water in the fire hydrants and all this other stuff. It always affects these rich people. And guess who's going to pay? We are, the taxpayer. It's going to be. We're gonna pay all this. Oprah Winfrey has a house up there. Pacific Palisades, this is where all these people live. Maxine Waters, Calabasas is right next door. All these rich areas are affected right now. It is what it is. So I just want to share that with you guys. I want you guys to see in real time what democratic liberalism does to a state and to a community. It is detrimental to black people. It is. It just is. You don't hear nothing about black people right now. Notice that all these fires are going because there are none. There are no black people. And the black people that do exist, Benny's dreaming. The black people that do exist, we're homeless. Most of the black people are homeless, but they don't want to show you that. They're not talking about those people. They're just talking about the rich people that lost their homes. Oh my God, what a tragedy. They've got insurance, so they'll be okay. Yes, thank you, Rain Love. I am definitely okay. Kerman says, one more time, how the heck you run out of water close to the ocean? Because they run all of the rainwater and the snow from the mountains out into the Pacific Ocean. That's what they do. But you're right, though, Kerman. Why would you run out of? Because you could still use the salt water to put out fires. But see, the Democrats depend on the firefighting tankers, the air tankers, to do all of this stuff. And the thing is, what they do is they contain it. They put a container around it, and then they extinguish the fire in the middle. That's great if you're out here in the desert, because that's what they've been doing for years out here. But now you're in a metropolitan city area. How do you do it? Because remember, whatever's in that area, all the homes that are in the area, how do you save those? Because when you contain it, you let it burn itself out, right? That's how they do it out here in the desert. But when you got houses that need to be saved, how do you do it? Democratic policy, lunacy, liberalism. I just want you guys, hey, brother Reggie, saw your video last night on your lock journey and stuff like that. It was pretty good. It's pretty good. So keep up with the great videos. If you guys don't get a chance, go to Brother Reggie Life in Japan YouTube channel. Some great stuff if you've never been to Japan and you kind of want to know what it's like being a black person there. Reggie is giving a on the ground, boots on the ground show of his daily adventures going and living in Japan. So again, I've been warning you guys, because there's going to come a time where Donovan's going to say, I've done everything I could do, and it's time for me to go. It's going to be time for me to go, and I'm going to go overseas and live my life or whatever I'm going to do and travel and meet up with brother Reggie over there in Tokyo, and have a nice little coffee and just say, wow, United States is burning, but we're over here. So your average logical thinker. Hey, another great chat is your average logical thinker. She had a great thing. I saw your video, average logical thinker, on Dr. Umar, and you ain't lying. You ain't lying. I believe he's a scammer. It is what it is. I know it sounded good at first, but words are words. Actions show you what people are actually, what they're about. And it was a good idea. It's good in theory, but he's got to really concentrate on it. But if you guys get a chance, check out your average logical thinker. She has a great page. Miss Sweet Talks, she has a great page. I mean, your average logical thinker, I'm serious. I will sit here and I will, since I'm retired, of course, just like you, I will sit here and look at your videos and watch them and share them on my platforms and get it out there. Because you got more subscribers than I do, and I started what, 8 years ago, and yeah, Dr. Umar, come on, he's in Ghana. All those beautiful black women, hit that cash app, hit that cash app, hit that cash app. He's over there. This is what we're going to hear from Dr. Umar. All those beautiful melanated sisters, hit that cash app. He's not coming back here anytime soon. It's just, again, we have these people. This is my opinion. We have these people that just know you play on black people's emotions, just like my friend tried to tell me about the black girl on the city council. Yes, she's qualified, but what can we do? Just because she's black, she's supposed to be elevated? No, we need to get the people on city council. We need a black mayor. We need a mayor that is pro-black. Now the Hispanics are in control. They don't need any experience. He's going to appoint somebody that has no experience, and that's the way it is. It's just sad. Black people, we have to be unapologetic and delineate from these groups. We have to do it. We just have to. It's do or die. It's do or die at this point. You know, it's just do or die. I mean, look at what is going on. Look, oh, I'm the mayor. We got to be all inclusive. And we got, as a black person, we know what it's like to be enslaved and to be discriminated against. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. If I was the mayor, black, 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 black. Would they have no experience? Don't care. Black. I got the power to appoint black. They'll learn as they go. All the other groups do it. Why should we be any different? I don't see them appointing. In the 4 years this idiot mayor in my city's been there, I have not yet seen him appoint one black person to any position. Arts Commission, the Veterans Commission, anything like that. All Hispanic. All of them. And I'm not against Hispanics. I'm not against Hispanics. I live in a Hispanic neighborhood. I'm just saying we got to stop. We need to unlearn what we've learned. Didn't Yoda tell that to Luke? You need to unlearn what you've learned because it's not working for us. These people are using our attitudes against us, using our pain and our hurt against us for their benefit. A person like me, I could never be elected. And I'm going to tell you, it's not that some Hispanics wouldn't vote for me. Most won't, but some will. Do you know where I get most of my pushback from? Black people. Black people. But again, like my friend Daryl, notice, oh my God, Donovan, you need to do this. When something needs to get done, all of a sudden, all the black people come to me. But when I ran for office, y'all were like, kiss my ass. F you, Donovan. Who are you? What? I'm unapologetic. I know politics. I'm going to use the power of what I know to the benefit of my people, like anybody else would do. I get more pushback from black people when it comes to standing up for us. But when something is egregious to black people, they all come to me. I get emails, I get texts, I get it all. If something's going on in the animal shelter, oh, Donovan, this is what they're doing in the animal shelter. What do you want me to do about it? I'm at that point. This is where I'm at. What do you want me to do about it? I told you that was going to happen. I told you that was going to happen. What do you want me to do about it? I have no power. I have no power. Other than highlighting these people, the Corey Jacksons and stuff like that, no black person is with me on that. And it's mostly the older folks. The younger people, they're too busy working and trying to survive. But it's mostly the older folks. Corey Jackson is a good man. Corey Jackson, you got to understand. It takes time to y'all will never get reparations. I hear more older black people telling me what we're not going to get than I hear them saying, well, let's work to try to get it. It's sad. Kerman says, sorry to say religion messed us up. We feel so bad if we don't include others. However, they don't feel the same. It's wild. And like your friends tried to say, we racist. Damn shame. Yeah, and that's what's going on. And then when I don't want to waste my time, I'm the bad guy. Oh, Donovan, he just talks, whatever else. No, what are we doing these shows for? What are we doing this show? We're trying to exchange ideas. I'm trying to ring the alarm across the nation. What's going on? It's too late for us here in California. It's too late. We're done. We're finished. Brother Reggie says, Trump gave advice and warned Newsom about the water situation, but that dummy wanted to save the smelt. Yeah, Bass and Newsom should be locked up. Yeah. Negligence at its highest. They should be sued for negligence, number one. But it's not going to happen because when you're in a democratic state, it's a cult. It's a cult. Like I said, what Corey Jackson did, nobody is they're just riding with it. All these black people that ain't got shit, that are homeless, they're just riding with it. The few of us that are trying, we get no support. We're definitely not going to get support from the Hispanics. Definitely not going to get it from the Asians. We can't even get support from the black people that are still here. Thunder says, "Do you think the next administration will stir up trouble with foreign governments?" Yes, Thunder. You got to engage in politics. The one good thing I can say about Trump is, and as you see, a lot of these governments are getting in line. Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister, he he resigned because Trump is coming back into power. Because all of these leaders, let's look at our country. What is the CBC's number one agenda going into the new Congress? To fight Trump. Immigration is their number one issue, and to fight Trump. To stop Trump's agenda, whatever it is. Has it ever occurred to them that maybe, I'm not saying all of Trump's stuff is good, but maybe some of it is good? Shouldn't they try to work together and, make things better? So on an international scale, remember, I'm a military person, whatever the deal is, NATO, and your average logical thinker could back me up on this. NATO and all of these organizations, that was mostly spent by the American taxpayer. Those countries, Germany, France, Italy, they weren't paying what they were supposed to pay by the treaty. And it was Donald Trump that said, okay, well, if you guys aren't going to pay what you're supposed to pay, we're walking out of it. And now they know, because they need American troops and resources there. Now they're paying what they're supposed to be paying. So what Trump is doing is, his craziness is leveraging international politics. So when he's talking about Canada being the 51st state and tariffs, because remember, it's all about the money. The tariffs is a leverage. Because think about it, we don't manufacture shit in this country. So if we tell China we're going to put a tariff on your shit since you're doing it to us and vice versa, it's the money game. It's just using leverage. Period. Nobody wants a 25% tax leverage on their goods coming into the United States. So let's face it, these other countries, their people could barely afford the goods. So he's using his craziness as leverage to get these people to move. And like I said, the Panama Canal, Greenland, all of this stuff is to deal with China. China's influence around the world has gone up, and the Democrats have done absolutely nothing about it. China owns 2 ports at the Panama Canal. 2. Now, a lot of people say, well, we can't go and take the Panama Canal. Demetrius says we can't do it. Yes, we can. In the Treaty of 1977, America has the unilateral right to defend the canal. No other country can defend the canal but the United States. Who's going to do it? Panama doesn't have an army. So who's going to defend the canal if the canal got attacked? The United States has that responsibility. And the responsibility is to have that canal remain neutral. So if I am Donald Trump and I see China has a significant threat, and their influence on the canal is more than what I would like it to be, because it is a strategic threat to the United States, right? That canal was built by us. It's a strategic asset of the United States. We need that to move our ships from sea to sea. We need that, right? So that's a national security issue. So can we go in there and take that canal? Yes, because it's in the treaty that we can defend that canal. Yes, we can. I know Demetrius says, well, technically we can't. It is still Panama's canal. But if we take it and keep it open. That is what the treaty says that we have an obligation to do. All the foreign leaders appear to be posturing for Trump right now. Yeah, they better get in line. Yeah, we built it, but do we own it? No, we don't own it because we gave it to them. But we have a responsibility to defend the canal. If the Chinese secretly brought in a bunch of troops in their 2 ports, and then the troops jump out Trojan horse and take over the canal, Can the Panamanians retake the canal? Can the Panamanians defend the canal? They can't. They can't. It's the United States that has to do it, and it's in the treaty. We have the responsibility to defend that canal, and that's what Donald Trump is basically saying. Yes, it's your canal, but if the military gets involved, we're the military. Now, you know this, average logical thinker. It's yours, but right now we're running it. Okay, it's yours, but right now, big brother, we're running it for right now. It's yours, but I'm going to use it for right now. I'm using it, but it's yours. You guys ever have like a little brother or sister and they got that new bike you wanted, right? Or they got a new bike, and even though it's their bike, you want to borrow it, and you take the bike and you start using it. Kind of the same thing with a Panama Canal. It's their canal. We gave it to them, but strategically for our national interests, oh, we will take that over. Another good example, Libya. What happened in Libya? America went over there. We took over the oil fields and we did a coup over there, whatever, right? The oil fields are for the Libyans. But who benefited? We did. Afghanistan. All those poppy fields I saw as I'm flying over those fields. It's their poppy fields, but who's benefiting? Iraq. That's even a better example. When we took over Iraq and we installed our puppet, it's their country. Who's running it? You don't think the United States, if we had to go and take that canal, you don't think we're not going to install a very friendly Panamanian government that's going to do our bidding? Come on, y'all. Come on. How many times have we seen this playbook? How many times? So by definition, can we take the Panama Canal back? Yes. It's in the treaty. It is up to the United States to defend it. If we're going to defend it and use our troops and our treasure to go and take that canal, you think we're going to keep a hostile government, Panamanian government in there that's going to make us look bad on the world stage? Don't think so. I don't think so. I've been in the military too long to not know what the playbook is. It's the end run. We get rid of that Panamanian guy. We install the other guy that's very friendly to us. And guess what? The canal is neutral. We got everything we want. We got rid of the Chinese, whatever, and life is good again. And now the tariffs on the canal go down and they're more American friendly. That's how it works, you guys. Come on. How many times have you guys seen all of this kumbaya, the way the world should be? Come on. We carry a big stick. And we give these countries a lot of money. And as all the corruption is going on, what do you think is going to happen? So Donald Trump is using this stuff as leverage to let people know we mean business. He's a businessman, a corrupt businessman, a piece of shit businessman. But the fact is, he knows how to negotiate from strength. You can't negotiate from weakness. You got to negotiate from strength. Let's see. Your average logical thinker, all the foreign leaders appear to be posturing for Trump right now. Da, da, da. We built it, but do we own it? No, we don't own that. Kerman says, is the Monroe Doctrine still in effect? Would that also pertain to the Panama Canal? Yes. The Monroe Doctrine has not been repealed or anything. They just don't, nobody works on it. There's a new doctrine that superseded, or it came after, I can't say it superseded. It came after the Monroe Doctrine, which is the Truman Doctrine. You guys go look that up. The Truman Doctrine is basically the American policy to contain communism. And that's how we got into these Korea and all these other situations, because that was the Truman Doctrine based on the Monroe Doctrine. Now, remember, how many of you guys remember the the Falkland Wars? How many of you guys remember that? Some of you guys were really, really young. You don't remember it. I was young too, but I remember I was like, 10, 11 years old, Margaret Thatcher and stuff. Technically, we should have intervened in that because the Monroe Doctrine says that no foreign European foreign power is supposed to intervene in the Western Hemisphere. We're going to do it. We're going to police the Western Hemisphere. But Reagan, Margaret Thatcher, good buddies, they said, you go ahead and take care of that. It was the Falkland Islands was a property of the British state, and they just let them go ahead and handle that. So there's a lot to it in the international game if we know what's going on. Logical Thinker says there are exceptions to every policy, right? Yeah, absolutely. There are exceptions. Logical says thanks for breaking that down, Donovan. You're probably already spoke about this, but how are you dealing with the smoke from LA? I know you're affected by it. Yeah, well, we have the smoke and stuff, but we're so used to, at least where I'm at, to fire season that it is what it is. You can see the smoke. If you get it high enough, you can see the smoke from LA from out here. So Daryl says a little bit off topic, but are those cartoon pics in your background singed and or retro? Yeah, a little bit. Now look, this one here, Tokyo Disneyland. My mom used to work at Disneyland in the 70s. She was an HR person. She worked in the back and stuff. So these are all Disney lithograms. This is from the Seychelles. In this room, this is my international room, and I've got all of these pictures from places I've been to around the world. I got my Vietnamese hat, my Vietnamese picture, Japanese, Thailand, all that crap. So, yeah, Argentina versus Britain, yeah, the Falkland Islands and stuff. Yeah, so don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. I'm on here too long already, but again, we need to start waking up. We need to, when you guys start seeing this gentrification politically and physically, this is Democratic policy. It's white supremacy policy. They both go into it, and we got to be cognizant of it. We've got to be cognizant. We got to stop being reactionary and be proactive. Stop being emotional. Use your logic. Use your common sense when things come up to you. Yes, I do believe that black alternate person, she should be on the planning commission. She should. But that's in reality, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And this is what the Hispanics and all these groups do to us. We need to start delineating and doing for ourselves. Oh yeah, no, they're not signed. No, no. But I've got the Disney imprint, the little print thing, kind of the embossation on all of them. So where's my shadow box? Oh my God, it's in my front room. I've got all of that. I have this. I don't know if you saw a picture of my den area. Oh my God, it has all my degrees, all the planes I've flown. You know what? I'll take a picture of it and I'll send it to you. Are you on my messenger? Wait, you know what? Let me send you my email. Your logical thinker. Hold on. Yeah. Wait. Ooh, this is better. Ooh. Here's my email. Here you go. Yeah, there's my email. Email me and I'll send you a picture or a quick video, and I'll show you how I did my den. And you should have yours done that way too. Every veteran has a love me wall, and my wall basically shows my career, how everything is done how everything was done in my career and stuff. It basically tells my whole military career. And everybody that comes to my house, they're just like, "Oh my God, wow, that's you? Yeah, that's me." And it's funny because people look at me and they're thinking, "Oh, he ain't nothing. This guy's 5'10". He's an average dude, nothing like that." And they come to the house and they see it and they're like, "Holy shit, yeah, yeah." Back in the day. But anyway, you guys, be blessed. Thank you guys for the concern and stuff. Donovan is always going to be okay. If this bitch was burning down, Donovan, just know Donovan would have been on a plane to Sasua, chilling. And speaking of which, and Logic, I think I want to talk to you about something. Technically, Tuesday, there was a transport going to Hawaii out of North Island. Next week, there is a transport going to the Marine Corps base, Kanoe Bay, the Marine Corps base on the other side. I think there's 25 seats. I put it up on my Facebook. I always put up the space available for the military. 25 seats. I don't know. I might go and just go over there and chill out. It all depends on if Benny acts right. So again, I like to share that information. I'm due. Well, I'm not saying I'm due, but my ex is over there in Hampton, Virginia, and Langley. She retired from Langley as a E. What did she retire as? A E6? I think she retired as a E6, and she got out. But she got her PhD and all that other stuff from the military. So she's the one that really pushed me to get along. But again, people as Black folks, in conclusion, as Black folks, we have to start competing. We have to stop this bullshit of party, party, party all the fucking time. If you have a child, I'm gonna tell you what the Hispanics and the Asians are doing here. They're joining the Air National Guard or the National Guard and whatever, getting their VA benefits 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year, doing it for whatever their enlistment is, 4 to 6 years, and they're buying their houses. They're buying these houses, stay in it for a year, then they rent them out. That's what they're doing. But we're telling our kids, oh, don't join no military. Ain't nothing wrong with no weed. It's sad. It's sad. We got to start competing again. Seeing being married ain't all bad. Yeah, well, it's okay, but nothing to do with the marriage. Uh, so anyway, I will get with you guys later. I will tell you guys we have to start competing again. We have to start changing the narrative. They are trying to exterminate us, and they're doing it with our acceptance. We are accepting this, and I'm not going down without a fight. All right, you guys, have a great one. Be blessed. I like this live on YouTube. I just wish I could get my green screen going. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you guys mañana. We also got to learn Spanish. 22 million Hispanics led into this country in 4 years. We've got to start learning Spanish. Our kids have to start learning Spanish or they can't get a job. Talking to my nephew, he can't find employment. He doesn't understand why he's not getting uh, uh, a job. He's not getting hired. I told him, "Do you speak Spanish?" He said, "No." I said, "That's why." Hispanics bring in their own. They might bring you in if you can speak Spanish because they want that DEI bull crap. But if you don't speak Spanish, how are you going to talk to the customer? Most of the customers in my city are Hispanic and they're native Hispanic from Mexico. They don't speak any English. They don't need to speak any English. The only group of people in this country that everything was taken from and was enslaved is the Black person. But yet we are so open to everybody else on top of our struggles. My nephew's 17 years old and he can't find employment. And it's not for the fact that he's not looking. Average logical thinker, your son is on the right path of learning multiple languages. That's the way to go. That's the way to go. But Spanish is the dominant language in this country now. And none of us know how to do it. So anyway, you guys, talk to you guys later. Dimitri K show tomorrow. We'll see you guys mañana.